Welcome back, gamers. Welcome back to Friend or Foe Season 7. We're here with Super Week. We're in the third game of the day, Universal Basic Income versus Azure Gaming. My name is Chris Sunga. I'll be your play-by-play caster this evening. And here with me are two special guests. We have two INT members. We have INT Bo Explode 87 and INT Popovai. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the cast. How are...
Thanks, Chris, bro. We're doing good.
Chilling.
We just came off a win.
Yeah, nice win against Pandas with Hats earlier. I'm so sorry. I bet 10 channel points against you guys. The odds were too good. I'm so sorry. The odds were too good. But yeah. Oh.
Yeah, don't worry. I put
Oh
a
man.
1K against us because I
1K,
wasn't winning more than
bro.
20 points off the other side. That's how it is.
Oh my god. Producer
Big
says
money
he
moves.
also gambled so much on it. Big money moves. We love to gamble here, Friend or Foe. All right, let's get into the draft. Kaisa being picked up, first pick by Universal Basic Income, very similar to the last game.
Yeah,
And we have
side.
Volibear Recon. Yeah.
Blue side's pretty crazy right now with the ADCs. You just gotta get the Ash or Kaisa or whatever else you can get your hands on as soon as you can. Volibear, Recon are not really enough to answer for that, but they're clapping back with the Janna, so that kind of should put off some of the engage. We'll see how it works as the rest of the draft is kind of developing. I know that UB kind of like the more enchanter and kind of pushback comps where people hard engage on them, they kind of just take over from it. And Kaisa's pretty good about that as well. Zai's banned, so there's no obvious pairing with the Recon, and they might try to go for something a bit stronger, engage with the ADC, like in the Ash pick I mentioned earlier, where they can try to play for picks, but we'll have to wait until this next phase to see how that turns out.
Cassante Mordekaiser picked up on the side on both sides at the moment. I don't think I've seen too much Cassante so far in Season 7, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, thoughts on these picks, Bo?
Janna players, man. I hate Janna players. You know, when we played against BBZ back in the day, you're a Janna player as well, and I despise that. I hate Janna.
Dude. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Janna player is just like, I mean, it's just so free sometimes. You just easy tornadoes, easy disengage at any time. Sorry, I'm hearing graphic was wrong. I'm sorry, what? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I believe we're potentially good. I see. Okay, I am so sorry. This is Fat Pikachu versus Oversoul. I'm so sorry. I'm getting a little confused on what we mean by this. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. This graphic is completely wrong. This is not UV. This is Fat Pikachu versus OVS. I am so sorry. Graphic had that wrong. Weird schedule and everything, but considering this, I mean, Popovai, thoughts on Fat Pikachu versus OVS, considering now these drafts?
So, I mean, now they're kind of switching around places where at first the red side team kind of wanted more of the engage stuff, and now they're kind of trying to prevent some of the engage by drafting Aphelios, and I mean, Tristana's back a bit more on the engage, but on the other hand, the blue side team kind of wants to engage with the fiddlesticks and stuff like that. So maybe they're just trying to play it slow, let each other kind of blow off their ultimates, and then try to re-engage as hard as they can when they can.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I'm very curious to see how this will go. But I think we're almost getting ready into the game. But Bo Explode, thoughts on this jungle matchup? We have Fiddlesticks versus Volibear.
Yeah, I haven't seen Volibear in the jungle in a fat minute. I know he's gotten some buffs over the last 2 patches. I like playing him as well, but I think the Fiddlesticks is a really good counter pick. You just press Q with a point and click CC, and he starts running away. But overall, on both sides, like as a 5v5, I think the game is heavily favored in UB's hands. With the Janna. Oh yeah, Fat Pikachu, my bad. The Janna and Fiddlesticks and Azir disengage along with the Cassante. It'll be hard for Recon to get anything done at all, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we gotta see how, especially since who are they playing against? Fat Pikachu? That's my bad.
OVS. Fat Pikachu,
OVS.
OVS.
Yeah,
Sorry
OVS.
about that. Yeah, graphic.
OVS has 2 ADCs, so they could make something happen, but I think the Recon's gonna have a tough time this game.
Yeah, I mean, these are two crazy Titans, both of them. I think currently tied for second place at the moment. So the winner of this will go up in standings. We'll take that solid second place spot. Later, if Art of War loses throughout the week, throughout Super Week, whoever wins this might have the chance to reclaim that first place spot. But I think we are ready to go. We are almost ready to go to games. So let's get into it. Fat Pikachu versus Oversoul Esports. Sorry, the graphic is wrong. We're so sorry. But we're back here. We're in the game. We've made it. We're getting a little bit of jittery lag again, but we'll get that fixed shortly. I don't know if that's on stream as well. But here we are, Fat Pikachu versus Oversoul Esports. Any level 1 thoughts for both sides?
So I mean,
No,
I think. My bad.
you go.
Oh, okay. So I feel like this invades a little bit bold because I don't know if the right side team really wants to start where their abilities are the Q on Volibear and the W on Tristana and Rakan and whatever else where they might need to like kind of use that for early pressure. I think that this was kind of a missed opportunity by Fat Pikachu to go get some vision into the bot side jungle with Diana just to know what the junglers up to and early rotations because Fiddlesticks is a little bit rough to counter gank early on sometimes. So ideally they would have been able to track this Volibear a bit better and see kind of what's going on with that because, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think invades are like kind of whatever, unless you have like hard CC on like Nautilus or any like hook supports in general. Janna and Rakan not known for their invades, so I'm surprised they went for that. They didn't. They got a ward down on blue buff, so they know that Fiddlesticks is starting topside.
Yeah.
Once he passes it, but that information, with that information, Volibear's starting to path bot. He's gonna look to counter gank, and the rest is based on how mid and bot will go.
Okay, I'm also curious about Blackpink Trash as well. Blackpink Trash, I mean, you guys have played against him yourself. Blackpink Trash, one of the strongest AD carries so far in season 7. Crazy stats, leading in the moment, and like KDA, kill participation, so many different stats. But I mean, lots of damage onto Jakunk from Lifrith. Not a full engage. It's still level 2. Can't be a whole lot. But Jakunk fighting back. Also, Jakunk being one of the greatest mid laners I think in season 7 so far. Everyone complimenting how strong he is. But yeah, thoughts on Fat Pikachu after playing them, Bo Explode? What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, I think Fat Pikachu was one of the teams we beat when they were like first.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how the game went, but I think we played it pretty clean. There were some team fights that went in Fat Pikachu's favor, but I think Fat Pikachu individually is really good. They won, I think, all of their lanes, but their macro decisions weren't the best, and that's when we took over and took the game away from their hands.
So do you think that'll be OVS's angle
Yeah, I
into this?
think, yeah, they just have Stana and Mordekaiser. They can play a really good 1-3-1, and if really good. I don't think their 5v5s is gonna be good because of the disengage on Fat Pikachu side. So we'll have to see what they want, and they have to be decisive about it because if they switch up mid game, it's not gonna be good.
I agree. Scarlet going for a little bit of aggression, but
Okay.
gets knocked up by the tornado. I love the Janna pick. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, I'm also a Janna player from way back when. And every time I play Janna, the whole idea is just make sure no mistakes happen, make sure nothing can happen bot lane. That's at least my whole mentality. Raptor also being that kind of player from what I've seen from him. Playing enchanters like Milio, always being the kind of player to just try to ensure that the lane doesn't go terrible before we get to the mid game. But so I don't expect to see a whole lot of aggression from the side of Raptor. Oh, nice
Yeah,
tornado to stop
that's
the
why I
W.
hate Janna.
Yeah.
You just W in and the NATO hits you, and you're just like, well, the play is over. There's Glacial Augment too. You're just perma slowed. You can't do anything.
Yeah,
We'll have to see how he adjusts to that, because if he can't do anything about it, then he's just useless.
absolutely. Oh, Kenny Train hovering this top side at the moment is going to channel that recall. Is this a gank that you would go for, Bugs?
Oh, yeah. So top laners, they all do the same thing. They push up. Well, the overextending, but they all push up and they don't ward, and then they get ganked after the jungler full clears top side. Ping the jungler. It's a sad life for us, but it's surprising that he didn't die. He's staying. He left the effigy, so Volibear will run into that, and then they'll know that he pathed towards top.
Mhm.
They'll know that he's gonna go bot after since he started top, and bot lane should either be careful of a dive or be able to like fight the jargon.
Yeah, I agree. So much pressure from bot lane of OVS at the moment. But Popovai, this dragon's gonna be coming up shortly. We don't have timers on it like we normally do because I mean, sorry, it's already up. But thoughts on this dragon take? Thoughts on this dragon setup?
So I'm a little disappointed that OVS kind of had prio mid and bot, and they're warding really defensively. Like they have one kind of ward on the enemy side jungle in this bottom tri-bush, which is nice because they're pushed up and they don't want to get ganked by Fiddlesticks. They also kind of had an idea that Fiddlesticks was top and just starting to path bot because of what they saw top side. So yeah, they were able to get double scuttle, but now they're just kind of clearing and farming, not really trying to push their advantage, even though Tristana has a lot of mid prio. And yeah, I think they probably just want to try to reset instead of going for this dragon. And it looks like Fiddlesticks got some vision down on it as well, so even now they won't be able to really get too much on top of it. Ideally, right now, I actually think that they should be pretty careful of mid because Fiddlesticks is also countering the power farm that Volibear was putting down earlier. And once both mid laners reset, it's really easy to just spam a Z or R because of the relatively low cooldown it has now and try to get the Tristana out of the air with some CC, especially if the support roams up off the reset. And then after that, Fat Pikachu could easily pivot onto this objective. It looks like the prio from OVS was used to get a little bit of a head start on this dragon, but it's definitely been spotted out. But unfortunately, it looks like because Fat Pikachu chose not to reset with your jungler and try to play around this mid lane, perhaps, that they're just not going to contest it.
We're actually also seeing Kenny Train starting to path towards that top lane from the mini map right now. This dragon is getting taken. Limster does see him, is 2 levels up on Kenny Train right now. Kenny Train does get Mordekaiser ultied, might have to stay alive for as long as he possibly can. Stormblast is just waiting for the Shadow Realm to end.
Under the tower.
Under the tower, over the wall. Limster gets Kassante'd, and Limster is going to run 25% HP, make that 10% HP. Tries to get a kill onto Kenny Train, doesn't get it. First blood over to Fat Pikachu. Stormblast and Kenny Train put Fat Pikachu on the board. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Jakunk gets jumped on right now. A Zero goes through. Swifty is here as well. Flashes over the wall. Jakunk does the same. Flashes over as well to safety.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
kind of what I'm talking about with the Zero ult. It's like a really good disengage tool. OVS will have to figure out what they can do in order to get around all these disengage tools. A really nice gank top by Kenny Train. He baited out the Mordekaiser ult and somehow didn't die. But I guess Mordekaiser isn't that strong yet, so he lived. Cassante ulted him in the tower, really good ult, and they finished up the kill.
Ooh.
Actually,
little bit
really
of
impressive, and importantly, Kenny Train didn't burn his flash to try to escape over the wall, and then Blast going over to continue with the Mordekaiser fight, so he's going to have that up for his next gank or engage, especially with his ult coming online right now. It's going to be pretty powerful wherever he decides to go. He might just come top again while the Mordekaiser ult is down.
And there's so much pressure also happening here in the bot lane. We're seeing Kenny Train start to path towards that red buff. Might decide to path towards this bot side too. That's going to be pushed in shortly. Meanwhile, Jakunk playing with the enemy jungler at the moment. Lifrit deciding to engage. Jakunk has an easy dash out. Bot lane looks like some stuff's happening there as well, but not a full engage. Skarloey exerting so much pressure. W onto the Janna. Janna gets knocked up. The Ignite is live on it as well. Blackpink Trash is still fighting. Here comes Kenny Train with the Fiddlesticks ulti. The rest of the bot lane have to just back out. Matstat just trying to kite this out. Gatron gets the fear. Skarloey pops the Rakan ulti, gets the kill onto Raptor. That's all he wanted. Great play by the bot lane of Oversoul Esports.
That was a really nice play by Rakan. I don't know if he had ult before the whole thing started, but he played it really slow. I think that's what he's gonna have to do for the rest of the game. But if he can keep doing those type of engages, like where he baits out like Janna Q or Zero R, and then goes in, then I think they're set up for success.
I want to highlight Scarlet as well. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that they were trying to kind of bait it in a little bit with the Fiddlesticks coming down bot, but unfortunately it's really hard to bait anything into Aphelios Rakan because they're so good at kiting out any sort of gank, and And they ended up kind of getting trapped, and Rakan was able to get the kill even through the exhaust from Janna, and now she's going to be a little bit of an easy target while she's still level 5. Hopefully the ultimate comes online soon for them, or else the Volibear might have to come pay a visit.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, I want to give a little bit of highlight to Skarloey. Skarloey recently joining the OVS squad as the starter support. I believe started last week. And didn't have the best debut game. They still won the match, but didn't have the best debut laning. And now it looks like Skarloey is here to play for sure. Getting that kill onto Raptor, where, again, the whole point of this, at least in my opinion, the whole point of the Janna pick is to ensure that things like that don't happen whatsoever. But looks like a little bit of a mind game to between Raptor and Skarloey, making Raptor expend his tornado a little bit early. So great plays by both of them.
I was going to point out, so Azero's able to get some good deep, well, not too deep, but at least some vision around the Herald while he was trying to contest Volibear's Raptors earlier, and that would have been some good setup for them to take the Herald, but the play cost them not only in the bot lane, but Volibear has that now, and he might be looking to gank something and get some more gold onto maybe the bot lane, because the other two towers are still pretty strong. And they're coming fresh off a reset. Rakan's getting some nice deep vision as well for the first time on the side of OVS. So even though they're resetting, the Kai'Sa and Janna got to be really careful when they come back to lane about what's going to hit them.
I like that movement by Skarloey and Lifrith as well to move together to get those deep wards. This dragon is going to be coming up in 30 seconds as well, and it looks like OVS 100% want it. They're already here 30 seconds ahead of time. They want to just ensure this.
Yeah, I think OVS just has better macro decisions so far. We'll have to see what happens later in the team fights, but you can see in the bottom river it's just all red. Fat Pikachu has no interest in contesting.
Yeah, we're seeing both junglers in the wings right now. Sorry, that's
What's the mid laner too?
Yeah, plus mid laners. Jakunk has arrived to this, but no engage from either side. This dragon's just about to spawn. We'll see which team is the first one to hit it. But Fat Pikachu look like they're here to fight for this. They have a Azir ulti. They have Fiddlesticks ulti. Janna ulti is also alive as well. So
yeah, it looks like OVS was trying to consider the bot dive, but then called it off because they probably figured they wouldn't be able to get through to Janna ult, especially if Fiddlestick fears them under the turret. So the Herald's starting to tick down, but we'll see what they want to do with it, if anything.
yeah. Okay. Lifrith getting Azir ultied out, does flash out to keep himself alive, but very, very ambitious beside Jakunk. Jakunk does expend that Azir ulti before a dragon fight is going to happen. And also we can kind of see Swifty also hanging out in the mid lane. Oh, dropping that Rift Herald to exert that pressure. This might be the cue for OVS to try to go for this dragon. There's a lot of pressure mid lane, and then there's no Azir ulti as well.
They should dive here, or that's what I would do with Volibear ult, but I guess not, because they burned a Azir ult, and Volibear ult obviously canceled the tower, and Tristana
I agree with that.
Really good dive power. I'm surprised they didn't dive there.
Maybe respecting the flash
Yeah.
from Jakunk, but honestly, I think I would have liked to see it. Yeah.
I think I would have gone for it as well. The Tristana had static shiv. She had some power to be able to lay it down. Unless she just finished that and only had the berserkers, but I'm pretty sure the shiv was completed. But also, maybe they're just trying to play a little bit safe. I think that actually the Azir ult was a pretty good play because it's pretty common for Azir when he has such a low cooldown on his ult to just trade it for the enemy mid laner's flash, and that really helps exert a bit of pressure because now Tristana has to be really careful if the jungler shows up, and unfortunately OVS's vision is starting to fade away a little bit, especially around the bot side jungle they got earlier, so it's better to just kind of reset and try to set up for the objective again when they don't know what could be waiting for them.
Swifty in the wings as well. Gotta grab that scuttle. All that vision that they were able to drop earlier doesn't actually come in. Oh, okay, but jump from Lifrith onto Jakunk. Jakunk just masterfully dashes himself out. That was very sweet to see. Very satisfying.
Well, they did burn Azir flash and ult, and he's 1 HP. He has no TP, so they could start this. They just have no vision of the bot side and the jungler, so they could get jumped by Fiddlesticks R. But they do have a shove mid, so they don't even have to do anything, and they're still winning.
Actually, with Tristana W, that tower might be getting pretty low now. Yeah, there it goes. So unfortunately, also Cassante used to have the TP advantage when they were sitting around the first time, but since neither team pulled the trigger, they never got to use that advantage. And now Mordekaiser's TP is back up, and his ulti will probably be up before anything else happens next.
Yeah, agree with that. Great macro decision making from OVS. I mean, OVS looks like they're just gonna leave this dragon to be alive. Just keep all the tension there. Fat Pikachu have to pay attention to it. OVS, maybe they don't want it. Maybe they're trying to just keep it alive for now. So we see Swifty starting to walk towards the spot side. Gonna get spotted out. That might attract Kenny Train to start walking towards that bot lane too. But yeah, still no dragon take taken.
Yeah, I'm surprised, or I'm not surprised by OVS. I'm not surprised by Fat Pikachu. They're not like pulling the trigger on anything. OVS, all they have to do is just sit back and scale, and they'll play the 1-3-1 later. Especially since 3-5, unless Scarly plays it like perfectly. But yeah, I'm surprised like Fat Pikachu. They're looking like they're contesting, but they don't pull anything. So I'm just surprised that they bled 4K already.
I'm actually a little bit worried for when that 131 phase might come because I think that the 4-1 on Fat Pikachu's side is stronger and the threat of the Fiddlesticks' Zero engage might make it pretty hard for the 3 to be sufficient and they might just end up overpowering them in the mid push or anywhere else and then having more people set up around the objectives that matter like Baron. Right now the second Rift Herald and Dragon are still up and no one really seems to be interested in going for them. I think that one kill bot where they were able to trade the Rift Herald and get the kill for free from OVS's side really kind of gave them this couple thousand gold lead, and now they've permanently been offset by being an item and a half up overall as a team, and Fat Pikachu is kind of just scared to fight them because their engage tools aren't nearly strong enough when something like Rakan is on the map, and it's hard for them to group without Mordekaiser taking more of the side lane gold.
Starting to see OVS members converge towards that second Rift Herald, like you were saying. Kenny Train channeling his recall as well. If OVS knows this, which they might just go for the Rift Herald anyway, they are going to go for it. The second Rift Herald will go into their hands. More gold into their pockets. Dragon still alive. No one deciding to go for it at the moment. I mean, maybe the idea is just keep pressure, or maybe Fat Pikachu really just can't go for it at the moment. But they are starting to charge themselves towards that dragon. Maybe it's a take, but Matstat getting so much damage onto that tower.
Fat Pikachu's kind of just been bleeding out the gold. They're a little bit confused and they're not really aware, I think, of the advantages that OVS is starting to find on the map. They could have cut their losses and moved their bot lane mid if they wanted to have some prio or had the Azir freeze more in the mid lane, but instead Tristana's still up quite a few CS, and because they didn't have that bot lane mid kind of pushed out, they weren't able to rotate towards objectives or compete with them, because if the bot lane was kind of mid earlier, even with the vision, they could have tried to place some from Rakan, and I'll stop rambling for now because it looks like OVS is trying to set up something towards the bot lane.
Maybe there's a lot of tension here, but I don't think the bot lane of Fat Pikachu were willing to walk up that close, knowing that Dragon was just taken down. Okay, 4 members of OVS are here. This is going to be an easy Dragon take. There
Ooh,
are
that
3
ward.
that just got spotted out by a ward. Swifty tries to go for an engage on a Raptor. Lifrith decides to jump forward. A teleport. 2 teleports are coming in hot from Fat Pikachu's side. Kenny Train goes for the
stopwatch.
Fat 6 ulti. Great stopwatch. Swifty goes down. Fat Pikachu are here to play. Mattstat's gonna go down here too. And Lifrith is now on the back.
They get some
All
damage on
5
that Tristana
members
if Kaisa can
Fat
ult in.
Pikachu are here, and Lifrith, okay, getting away with 50% HP. Meanwhile, top lane, Limster was able to pick up that dragon for Stormblast's teleport. So much happening here.
So I think they were trying to originally bait the low HP tower with the Janna pick, and then they spotted it out and didn't think that Fiddlesticks was still going to be able to ult them. Tristana could have used R or something like that to channel the cast once they placed the ward and was aware of it, and really overextended with the Rakan and weren't able to kind of end the threat from Fiddlesticks until everyone came in and stuff like that. So, but unfortunately, they're still down a few thousand gold because of the Mordekaiser side lane, and the map is still kind of in control of OVS.
Yeah, they just had TP advantage. Top Cassante TP'd in and Mordekaiser didn't have it. He did answer with the tower, but I think when you go for those plays, you just have to keep in mind what TPs they have. and what ultimates that they could use to turn around the fight. The Fiddlestick ulti was huge. It got into like 3 people.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think he got the fear, but the damage, the output was just insane.
Well, they
Yeah.
really committed all their damage onto the Fiddlesticks and weren't able to finish him off because of the stopwatch, so their fight lost a lot of steam once, like I said, the draft phase. Everyone blows their ultimates, whichever team can follow up and is still alive kind of has the advantage.
Yep.
They're pretty lucky that all the money went onto Blackpink Trash, who is actually going for the AD build on Kai'Sa instead of the AP game like we saw a couple of games ago from Kenny Hammerspike, so we'll see how that develops. A little bit stronger in terms of the team fight and being able to deal overall damage, but it's a little bit rougher to one-shot people and finish stuff out and go for
Okay, here we go. Kenny Train and Jakunk going over walls, dashing over, get that kill onto Matt Stat, 80 carry of OVS. Now this Baron might be a question mark. Fat Pikachu are starting to walk towards it. Stormblast has already tagged it. This could be a Baron take. Swifty is still alive. All members of OVS now converging towards this. Does this actually turn into a full Baron take or a fight?
They
Find
still
out.
have Janna ult. They don't have Azure ult to disengage, but they're
Oh, great tornado by Raptor to stop Volibear, but Volibear still gets Raptor. Swifty takes him down. Stormblast now takes down Swifty. Junglers goes down. Skarlui also goes down. Lifrith at a sliver of HP. Kenny Train also with just 1% HP right now, just running away from Limster, trying to dodge anything. He has to just walk away, but he can't. Limster gets that kill. 4 for 3. Well, actually 4 for 4 after all of that. Both sides getting 4 kills. Jakunk and Limster only ones remaining now.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the side of OVS, the lead they still are maintaining, especially with the Dragons, is present, but the gold distribution on their team isn't looking so great anymore. The Felios is still on 2 components for a second item, while the Kai'Sa has kind of finished it, and the Azir and Kai'Sa are both getting 3 kills, whereas the carries for the side of OVS aren't really getting the resources they need, and something like the Volibear having 2 items over the Philios isn't really what will be able to help propel you through the mid game or close out the game later on.
Okay, Dragon coming up now shortly, 30 seconds. I mean, before last Dragon, we were just seeing a lot of pressure, a lot of just everyone staring at the Dragon to make sure no one else is able to take it. But now with OVS, I mean, they're down 3 kills, but like you said, the gold lead is definitely theirs, and they almost look like they're confident enough that they know that they're stronger at the moment. They could just know this, but yeah, okay, OVS just gonna be dancing around the Dragon for now before it comes up. Kenny Train and Blackpink Trash appearing in the bot lane. They know that the enemy sees them at this point, so they're aware that a fight could happen here towards this Dragon. 4 members of OVS hovering that river at the moment.
Oh, don't face check, don't face check.
Oh no,
Oh.
Swifty gets that stun and knock up onto Blackpink Trash. Unfortunate timing there. Rest of OVS was there to follow up. Meanwhile, the top lane Stormblast gets taken really low. I don't know if a kill will actually happen there. Limster still chasing, but Dragon being picked up by OVS at the moment. I mean, there's only 3 members.
Oh, he's going.
Okay, here we go.
He got it. He got it.
Oh my god.
He
doesn't have to flash to get out, but he's doing a lot of damage.
Nice ulti, nice jump over the wall to get that steal. A Dragon now in favor of Fat Pikachu. It does go down to OVS, giving them 2 more kills along with that kill on Blackpink Trash. So I mean, great steal, but where does this go from here?
I respect it. It's a really worth play. It prevents OVS from having 3-0. So they don't necessarily have to fight the next Dragon. They don't have to feel pressure. They can set up a Baron without giving up soul. I think it's a really good play, a really nice smite, and I respect you.
So I was about to comment before the ADC pick broke out, is that Fat Pikachu's vision was really, really defensive, and stuff like that can happen when you just don't know where the enemies are. That Janna was able to clear 1 or 2 wards, but OVS replaced them, and now they're starting to do the same sort of setup for Baron. It's getting more and more precarious for Fat Pikachu to send members alone into their jungle to try to scout out what's going on objectives, and it's really lucky for them that they are starting to work towards this Mountain Soul, which is going to be really important later on Well, looks like the pick is about to happen in the top lane once again. I'll let you
Yes.
take it over.
Stormblast getting caught out on the wrong side of the map, but actually the rest of Fat Pikachu have arrived, so Stormblast might have the backup that he needs, but this fight is so split right now. Kenny Train is also getting zoned away. Stormblast has to be going down here. He does go down in favor of OVS. The teleport has come through from Lifrith. Kenny Train couldn't enter that fight. Matt Stat was just completely zoning him out, so no possibility of a Fiddlesticks ulti, and now Baron getting tagged by OVS. This could just go over to them.
I think if it was a couple patches ago that Cassante would have lived for a bit longer and manipulated some of the enemy positions, but unfortunately it's been kind of cut down to pieces and his
Ooh, another steal?
all-outs, maybe half out.
Okay, Kenny
And
Train
Train's
is
going for it
Oh,
again, doesn't get it this time.
1500.
Yeah, no
Oh.
steal this time for Kenny Train. Valiant effort. The rest of Fat Pikachu have arrived as well. They're just going to try to disengage from this. I mean, the whole point of this Janna pick is to make sure his teammates are just all alive. Yep, the rest of OBS can't actually follow up on this engage. But a teleport to bot lane from Limster to try to exert more pressure with this Baron buff.
I respect the attempt. I think it was like a 1500 smite. It was really close.
Yeah.
If he got it, it would have been really nice. You just
Oh,
hold
no.
base.
Okay,
Ooh.
Jakung. Oh, okay. Looks like a big fight was about to happen, but instant is zero ulti says no. But yeah, I respect the ulti. That's a bow explode ulti to try to steal for sure.
Yeah, they just have to play base defense for the next 4 minutes. I think they can do it. They have enough wave clear. Or they have 80 Kaisa. They don't have the Shiv, but they should still have enough with Zir and Kaisa combined.
Yeah, with this Baron buff on OVS, we're starting to really see how far ahead OVS really is, even though the scoreline looks so close. I mean, they have 6 towers compared to Fat Pikachu's 0. Stormblast gonna get dove here by 4 members of OVS. That tower going down as well. Stormblast just gonna walk away to try to waste some time, but the rest of Fat
Oh.
Pikachu have to do what they can to defend. He's gonna use that ult to try to escape, but Limster takes him down. Stormblast is gone. This could be OVS taking over that second place spot over Fat Pikachu, who was on a rampage in the beginning of the split. Okay.
It seems like the scoreboard really doesn't say a lot about the real difference in golden shutdowns and plates and whatever
Yeah.
else. And especially things like objectives, and Fat Pikachu starting to feel that helplessness more and more because from their perspective, it probably doesn't feel like they've laid out a 10k gold differential, but that is what it is in reality. And once these backs come through, you'll see a couple more items appear on the carries and even maybe the top laner and jungler of OVS. And from there, there'll be a real differential. And unfortunately, Fat Pikachu won't be able to take advantage of their item spikes coming in for Kaisa because the Philios and Tristana will already have theirs, and it'll be pretty easy to shut it all down because the Janna can only push them all back once, and once this Mountain Soul is claimed, because the dragon is spawning in about half a minute, well, rather, the Soul Point, they'll be in real pickle because they're just not going to be able to burst down any members that are engaging from the side of OVS, and at that point, Fat Pikachu will be down a couple members most likely, and it won't matter what source of resources or tools they have on their team as their base starts getting sieged. They're pretty lucky in some senses that the inhibs weren't taken because they can still have a chance to pressure the map, but I don't think it really matters because with this much of a goal difference, you end up not being able to walk up to the enemy team, and the inhibs being down might have actually just been able to give them a few pennies more to make the difference in 10 minutes if they're still hanging in there.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
looking for a
OVS.
flank.
Yeah,
Oh, the
hovering around the side. Kenny Train gets caught out as Zero
Might be
ulti
too
goes
far.
through. The rest of OVS are starting to walk here, but Lifrith gets immediately removed from the team fight. Kenny Train is running really low. Skarloey, the only one on him right now, but he's just a Rakan. What is he going to do? Kenny Train with a sliver of health has to flash out. Jakunk is going to have to go golden. Swifty
Huge ult from
is
Massa.
trying to go for some of the carries. Blackpink Trash now getting zoned away by Swifty. This could be just an OVS win. Blackpink Trash goes down. Stormbless running really low, has to just walk it out, isn't able to. An ace for Oversoul Esports. They're going to get this dragon. They'll be on Soul Point, and they're going to go for an inhibitor.
It looked really good for Pikachu, but the Aphelios got really good Inferno Mold and did 1 billion damage, like 2,000 years worth of damage
Yeah.
onto the whole entirety of Fat Pikachu. Yeah, I think it should be over. I'm not 10 seconds. Maybe they skip 2 inhibitors and leave.
I think I
Yeah, and the
agree with
shield,
the
the tower,
inhibitors here.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no end in sight just yet. I mean, had they committed all members to just say, let's just run it down mid, like maybe that's just the game, but fair for OVS to just say, let's just get everything that we can for now and just win later.
Yeah, I think the pick on the Tristana was a little bit of a mistake on OVS's part, but unfortunately, the way they distributed themselves in that bottom jungle really just let Aphelios rain hell on them from across the wall, and the run was slippery enough that they couldn't lock them down and kind of got separated out. If they got the pick, backed up, maybe took a breath for a second, they could have made some sort of movements around it, but I think ultimately there was nothing stopping OVS from getting that dragon, even if Fat Pikachu was more respectful after getting their pick.
Yeah, I agree with that. OVS just looking completely clean right now here in the macro game. I mean, you guys were commenting earlier, Fat Pikachu, their main mistake or their main flaw is just their macro game. And even though they were basically almost tied first place, um, their weaknesses are starting to really show here, which means a lot of these teams might start to pick up on this. And as the season progresses, I mean, all of the FOF teams, usually their macro starts to improve around the midway point. And yeah, I mean, with everyone improving, all FOF teams improving, we're starting to see Fat Pikachu fall. And we thought they were just this big giants at the beginning, but here they are. OVS about to take them down. I mean, unless Fat Pikachu can do anything. I mean, what are your thoughts on Fat Pikachu's entry back into the game? How do they get back into this?
I think that they don't really have any engage tools besides a Fiddlesticks ult, or if Azir suicide bombs and like R's everyone into his team, which still I don't think is the best idea.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard for them, especially since they're giving up this Baron and their third inhibitor is open. I think OVS should go for a siege. The only way Fat Pikachu fights their way out of this one is if they overextend into the Nexus towers, and like Azir ults them all under or something, and then Janet gets a really good ult. But other than that, I think it's most likely an OVS win.
I was gonna say I think their best case scenario was just trying to death bush in the top right below the river while OVS was doing their rounds and trying to get their vision out, but unfortunately OVS did have a bit more forward vision this game, and that really kind of paid off, and now they're being sieged at every inhib by either supers or the enemy team with Baron and a 12 to 13k gold differential, and Azir Tower's not going to save them or anything like that, and they're just gonna get beat down by all the coins in the socks of OVS.
Yeah, OVS just marching into this Nexus right now. I mean, they have just super minions just charging in. These towers will slowly go down. They don't actually have to go for a dive or engage or anything. I mean, Tristana Bomb makes it much easier as well. These towers are going to go down. I mean,
Janna Shield saves them for now, and they're trying to get a
yeah.
pick or at least some poke damage, but I don't think it really matters at all in the end. They're going to have to walk back and heal a little bit on the Azir, and that tower is going down when the next wave comes in because you have double supers and Baron, and
Okay,
yeah.
here we go. The ultis are coming out from the side of OVS. Skarloey goes with the Rakan ulti. Raptor goes golden, goes down to Matt Stat. These towers are also both going down as well. 5 members of OVS just charging at them. Fat Pikachu health bars are getting eradicated. Nice attempt with the Azir ulti. Does pick up 1 member, but it's going to be Limster taking down Jakun. Does get Limster in the end.
He's rich.
And this is a free kill, free win over to the side of Oversoul Esports. Congratulations to them.
But fortunately for themselves, OVS played not perfect, but pretty classic game where they were just able to trade objectives across the map, anticipate ganks, kind of progress, pushing forward the vision, and at the end of the day didn't really give Fat Pikachu a chance to get back into the game. I think Fat Pikachu could have been a bit more proactive with any train in his ultimate and the flashes that they were burning with his year old, maybe doing some map rotations earlier on, but ultimately they kind of just tried to stabilize the game and scale out with Kaisa, Azir, and Kazante, and that just wasn't going to happen against the Tristana, Helios, Rakan, and Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I think they have no engage tool, so they have no way to get back in the game if they do fall behind, which they should because they pick basically scaling mid and bot, and they also just played the map poorly in my opinion. OVS just outplayed them in every aspect of the game.
I agree. I mean, OVS just played fantastic. I mean, FabPG wasn't making insane, egregious mistakes that we usually see from like new teams who come into FOF for the first time or come into competitive play for the first time. So FabPG is still a solid team, but like obviously the macro decisions are clearly their weak point at the moment. So I'm curious to see how they will move forward with Super Week, and especially now that we're in the second half. This is the end of the first half, so rematches are going to begin. Fat Pikachu and OVS will play again at the end of the regular season. And again, highlights to Skarloey. Skarloey, new support starter for OVS, played great today compared to last week, and obviously shown a lot of improvement. And OVS still looking strong. So yeah, congrats to them. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Bo and Popovai, for casting with me. I appreciate you guys. Be here for the next game as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. Up next, we had the last game of the day before we close out the show. And I believe we will be having an interview shortly. So thank you guys so much for watching. Shout outs to Adobe Creative Cloud, Logitech G, Academy of Art, all those fancy people. And shout out to you guys as well. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.